Demisexual. So, you're at a concert and everyone around you is swooning over the lead singer. But instead of instantly melting at the sight of their perfectly untidy hair and rock star swagger, you're more like, let's see if they can hold a conversation first. Not only that, but you also need to form a very strong emotional bond before you can even feel a flicker of sexual attraction. You act like this because you are demisexual. You would not experience immediate sexual attraction based on looks alone. For you to even like the person, you have to form a strong emotional bond first. Attraction would only start to kick in after you've learned their favorite color, love for dogs, and stance on if pineapple on pizza should be a punishable crime. To you, it's the inside and personality that truly counts. Basically, your heart has to send your hormones a formal invitation before the love party can start. Graysexual. So, you've met this really cute guy at a party 2 weeks ago, and you guys hit it off. It feels like you've known him all your life, and honestly, he just checks all your mental boxes because of how much you both have in common. However, one day he suddenly starts ghosting you for no apparent reason, and then he comes back and tells you that he doesn't feel the attraction anymore, and you can't seem to know what went wrong. The truth is, you are not the problem at all. Rather, he is graysexual. That probably sounds like an excuse to be a bad person, but graysexuality is actually a very valid sexual orientation. For graysexuals, sexual attraction isn't as frequent or intense as it might be for others. It's like having a favorite song but only feeling like listening to it once in a while rather than on repeat every day. They might experience attraction now and then or under particular situations, but it's not a constant in their lives. It's more like a sprinkle of seasoning rather than the main course. It's not about being uninterested in relationships or connections, it's just that the sexual aspect isn't always in the spotlight. Think of it like this. While others might dive headfirst into a pool, graysexuals might dip a toe in and decide to chill by the poolside instead. Bisexual. So, when you open your Spotify account to listen to music, there are normally different playlists to match your mood and how you feel. Sometimes you might want to play very sad songs and cry, and other times it might just be hip-hop and dance. This is basically what bisexuality is, except your sexual attraction is the playlist. It's like having a love for both chocolate and vanilla. You don't have to pick just one. You would experience romantic or sexual attraction to more than one gender, but this doesn't mean you're always attracted to both genders equally or at the same time. You might find yourself drawn to a man one day and a woman the next, or be equally attracted to people of any gender. It's like going to a buffet where you enjoy a little bit of everything. The variety is what makes it interesting. The attraction is fluid and can change over time, but it's always genuine. Scoliosexual. Scoliosexuality is like the rebellious teenager of sexual orientation. If you are a scoliosexual, then you would be attracted to people who don't fit within the traditional binary understanding of gender. This simply means you'll be into those who are non-binary, genderqueer, gender fluid, or anyone else who identifies outside the strictly male or female categories. To you, attraction is tied to gender diversity. It's not just about whether someone is male or female, but rather about being drawn to the unique ways people express their gender outside the binary. Think of it as being attracted to every single color on the spectrum because there is always something beautiful and intriguing in the unexpected. The thing is, many scoliosexuals are attracted to the creative expression of gender, and their sexual drive is driven when they see people who express and appreciate the full spectrum of gender expression. Asexual. So let's say you go to an all-you-can-eat buffet, and while everyone else is piling their plates high, you're just not that hungry. You might appreciate the food, you might even enjoy the atmosphere, but you don't feel the need to dig in. This is exactly how it is for asexual, but instead of food, it's sexual attraction they literally have no appetite for. If you are asexual, then sexual attraction isn't the driving point in your life. You might still experience romantic attraction, like wanting to date or cuddle, but the desire for sexual activity isn't there. It's like being interested in the plot of a romance movie, but not particularly caring about the steamy scenes. Although many people believe asexuals are just celibate, the truth is they are actually not just abstaining from sex because they want to, they simply don't feel sexual attraction. And while they might not be interested in the sexual side of things, love, connection, and companionship are definitely on the table. Pansexual. Pansexuality is a sexual orientation where a person is attracted to others regardless of their gender. It's like saying, I'm attracted to people, not parts. Pansexuals see love and attraction as something that transcends traditional gender boundaries because what matters to them is the person inside, not their gender identity or expression. Now, an interesting fact is that pansexuality comes from the Greek word pan, meaning all, which simply means that pansexuals have the potential to be attracted to people of all genders. Whether someone is male, female, non-binary, genderqueer, or anywhere else on the gender spectrum, a pansexual person could be attracted to them. They are basically equal opportunity lovers. Pansexuals are not confused, but very inclusive to all genders. However, this doesn't mean they do not have preferences, just like anyone else. They don't find every single person attractive, they're just open to attraction to people of any gender. It's like being open to try any dish at a restaurant, but still having your favorite flavors. Nothing is off the table. Homosexual. Homosexuality is when someone is romantically or sexually attracted to people of the same gender. For men, this is often referred to as being gay, and for women, it's often called being lesbian. It's like liking sugar and loving only people that like sugar. So if you're a guy who likes guys or a girl who likes girls, that's homosexuality in a nutshell. Unlike what some people tend to believe, being homosexual is not just a phase or something you can snap out of. It's an integral part of who they are, like having a favorite color or food. And although you may evolve, it's still not a temporary thing. So whether it's dating, getting married, or starting a family, homosexual relationships are built on the same principles as any other: trust, communication, and mutual respect. Androsexual. Now, this group of people are majorly attracted to anything that exudes masculinity. If you are androsexual, your sexual radar will ping whenever you encounter someone who exudes that masculine energy. This could mean physical characteristics like a chiseled jawline or a deep voice, but it could also be about the way someone carries themselves, their confidence, or their traditional masculine qualities like strength or assertiveness. So whether they're rocking a beard that could house a small family of birds, or they just fixed your leaky sink with one hand while holding a puppy in the other, if you're finding yourself drawn to that, then that's your jam. But here's the twist. You are not limited to being attracted to just men. You are basically drawn to anyone who embodies masculinity, whether they're male, female, non-binary, or anything in between. Gynesexual. Picture this. You're at an art gallery, but instead of paintings, the exhibit is all about femininity. That's basically what goes on in a gynesexual person's mind 24/7. They are totally attracted to femininity and everything that has to do with feminine energy. For example, you see someone with a soft, graceful vibe and your heart does a little happy dance. It's like having a radar that goes ding whenever someone brings that feminine energy, whether they're a woman, a man with a feminine side, or someone who's non-binary. For gynesexuals, it's all about those feminine traits. Maybe it's the way someone smiles sweetly, the elegance in their movements, or even the way they style their hair with that perfect swoop. Saposexual. Have you ever met someone that you found insanely attractive, but the minute you have a conversation with them, you are instantly turned off because they don't sound very smart? If you find yourself in a similar situation, you are sapiosexual. Intelligence is your ultimate aphrodisiac, and a stimulating conversation is basically foreplay. You basically have a crush on someone's mind instead of their abs, and a big brain is way hotter than big biceps. Instead of your heart skipping a beat when you see a six-pack, it skips uncontrollably when they drop some fascinating knowledge bomb or solve a tricky problem like it's nothing. For sapiosexuals, the brain is the sexiest organ, and immediately when someone starts talking about philosophy, literature, or science, you are suddenly head over heels in love. It's not about how they look in a suit or a dress, it's about how they look when they're passionately explaining something complex. Wordplay and witty banter are like catnip to sapiosexuals, so if you can keep up a battle of wits, you might just win their hearts. Heterosexual. You go to a restaurant to order food and you are served exactly what you want, which is a chicken burger with large fries and ketchup. No changes or mixture added. This is essentially what being heterosexual is like. You're a guy who's into girls or a girl who's into guys. Basically, if you're a magnet that is positively charged, then you're naturally drawn to something with a negative charge. It's the classic opposites attract scenario where men are attracted to women and women are attracted to men. While heterosexuality, also known as being straight, is pretty common, it's important to remember that there's no default default when it comes to sexual orientation. Being straight is just one of many ways people can experience attraction. It's like saying vanilla is the default ice cream flavor. Meanwhile, there are tons of other delicious options to explore. Lithsexual. So, when most people feel an insane amount of attraction towards someone, they always try to pursue a relationship and maybe want the person they find attractive to like them back. However, people who are lithsexual would literally run in the opposite direction as soon as they see that the person they likes them too. This is because you're attracted to someone, but you're not really into the idea of them liking you back. It's like having a crush but without the butterflies at the thought of holding hands or sharing a milkshake. Imagine being a fan of someone from afar, loving the view from the bleachers but not really wanting to join them on the field. You enjoy the feelings you have, but you're not interested in acting on them or having those feelings return. Relationships can also be a bit weird and different if you are a lithsexual, because you might enjoy someone's company, find them attractive, and even enjoy flirting, but once things start getting reciprocated, your interest might fade, and that's just going to be a bit uncomfortable for the other person. The truth is, you're not rejecting the person, it's more about keeping the feelings in a space that's comfortable for you, which is more about companionship and connection rather than mutual romantic or sexual attraction. Reciprosexual. So, you're at a party and someone catches your eye. You don't think much of it at first, but then they come over and start chatting with you, and suddenly your brain goes, well, maybe they are kind of cute. This is simply because you are reciprosexual, and your attraction to another person turns on like a light switch, but only when someone else flips it first. Basically, you only feel attracted to someone if they're already showing interest in you first. You might not even have any romantic or sexual feelings for someone at first, but the moment they start showing interest in you, suddenly you're like, oh wait, maybe I do like them. It's like your heart is on standby mode and it only wakes up when it gets a signal from someone else. It's like playing a game of ping pong. You only serve up those romantic feelings after they've served first. However, unlike the popular misconceptions that reciprosexuals are just indecisive or playing hard to get, it's actually all about the way attraction works for them. The interest is genuine, but it just needs a little nudge to get started. It's like needing a spark to light the fire rather than the fire starting on its own. While love and sexual orientation come in different forms and flavors, the only place you can stay updated with fun, exciting information is on our Discord channel. So join the server today and get access to unlimited interesting information. Autosexual. You know how self-love and care are basically the first thing everybody should do and have for themselves? Well, you don't need to say much to someone who is autosexual. This is because they take the whole self-love train to a whole new level. Autosexuals are physically incapable of loving anyone aside from themselves. It's like being your own biggest fan, but in a way that goes beyond just self-love. It's not just about liking what you see in the mirror, it's about finding yourself genuinely attractive in a way that might be more intense than how you feel about others. You're basically the star and Prince Charming in your own romantic movie. Now, most people think that autosexuals are just seriously self-absorbed and overconfident individuals, but the truth is that they simply do not just love anyone apart from themselves, at least in the emotional/sexual way. However, while you might have a strong attraction to yourself, you can still enjoy relationships with others. It's like loving pizza, but also appreciating a good salad. There's room for both. Autosexuality just means that the relationship with yourself is particularly important and should therefore have the master bedroom in your heart. Objectum-sexual. So you took a trip to Bora Bora and visited the Arts and Crafts Museum. There, you see so many beautiful, unique cultural pieces of furniture, beads, and handcrafted baskets, and you are immediately turned on. Yes, you heard it right. You are practically getting the hots for a few pieces of furniture, and this happens because you are objectum-sexual. You only feel romantic or sexual attraction toward objects instead of people. Imagine being head over heels for a bridge, a building, or even a piece of art. It's not just about liking these objects, it's about forming deep emotional bonds with them, much like you would with a partner. You find yourself drawn to shapes, texture, history, or even the perceived personality of an object. Your soulmate might even be the 6-story building with a white picket fence and garden. Well, love comes in different forms and flavors.